I actually don't really know how to start this video. This is a completely foreign concept to me. Hi, my name is Chase. Welcome to 3BAD. This is a YouTube channel where I will be discussing literally anything not involving gaming, or sometimes maybe even gaming. But I'll be talking about gaming while not gaming. So if you guys are new here, feel free to subscribe if you like just hearing me talk about stuff that's not related or pertinent to an actual controller, keyboard, mouse in my hand as we talk about some stuff. This is my, like I said, this is my IRL channel, I suppose, talking about all this fun, this, that, and the other. And in this video, I asked you guys on Twitter at CBADGG if you guys want to do a Q&A. I said we'll be doing a video today regarding a Q&A, anything and everything you guys want answered. Little asterisk there, but that is the game plan for this video. I'm going to go through Twitter. If you guys aren't following me, free to check out in the description below. Check out all my socials. Follow me there. Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. Check out other YouTube channels if you like gaming stuff. But this video, going through Twitter, everybody who replied to the tweet using the hashtag Ask3Bad, we're going to be going through and answering some questions. Typically with these videos that I've done in the past on other channels, I've done Q&As where I've tried to keep things kind of brief, bullet point answers. But this is literally a channel where I'm just going to talk. So I figured this is a really good way to start, is with a lot of questions that people might have asked me previously that I didn't give a proper answer to, that I can kind of flesh out my response a little bit. So we're just gonna go on ahead. You guys will see questions pop up on the screen and we're just gonna go from there. First question comes from Cake with a J on Twitter. Hashtag Ask3Bad. What was little boy CBAD's dream job for when he grew up? That is a great question. My dream job involved being a Power Ranger. My dream job involved being for a very long time. My mother is a music teacher, a choir and band teacher. For the longest time, that was my thing. I did band in 6th grade. I did choir in 7th and 8th grade. I did choir and then mixed choir, jazz groups, varsity choirs, musical theater, all that fun stuff all throughout high school. And all the way up until my senior year, I wanted to very much be a music teacher until my mother sat me down one day. And I'm very, if you guys don't know much at all about behind the scenes here, I'm very much into upgrading my equipment, making sure that I've got the best, the biggest, the brightest, the fanciest, the sharpest. And she sat me down one day, and I've always been that way. And she sat me down one day and said, you know, I love what I do, but I am a middle school teacher. I have a family, still got a tube TV. This is back in 2010. She's like, roughly 2009, 2010. You know, we've still got a tube TV. I've got a, you know, a worn out country van, you know, I'm okay with that. She's like, that is what I'm okay with. I like what I love what I do. It's what I'm passionate about, but it doesn't provide me with, you know, the biggest, latest luxuries. She said she's okay with that, but she knows that I'm not. And if I wanted to get married and have children and start a family, then going off of that type of salary would involve some give and take in other areas. And at the time, I was not ready for that type of commitment where I was like, oh boy, like I can't have the sharpest, latest new toys and still have, you know, the American dream, white picket fence, all that fun stuff. So at that point, I thought to myself, I said, maybe that isn't the case. And pretty much every idea of what I wanted to be got thrown out the window. And I remember signing up for college classes. I went to a community college for about a year and a half. And there were a bunch of different major programs that you get into. Is pretty stream. I don't know how other colleges operate. I only applied to the one, but pretty streamlined. It was pretty, you know, you want to be a math teacher, you want to be an engineer, you want to be a doctor, here's the programs that you take and here's where they transfer out to. So it was pretty streamlined. We were looking through and she's like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, I just want to kind of like play video games all the time. And here we are. So that was Power Ranger, music teacher, and now doing what I do. So follow your dreams, kids. Next question comes from True Renegade. Hashtag Ask3Bad. Would you ever be at a point where you would coach new and upcoming streamers on how to build an audience, how to use the software and various programs that are needed to even stream content? Fantastic question. Would I ever be at a point where I would coach new and upcoming streamers? I don't think so. Post-production Chase remembers to put this in the description of the video. I'm going to link a YouTube channel to my friend Ashney Christ. She runs a stream coach program. She has written a book. She does offer one-on-one consult. I think she does it through a Patreon as well, where you're able to get monthly coaching sessions with her. She did just expand it. I know my friend Frisk is involved with it. A few other people on there that are successful in their own rights, teaching that they offer, that are a part of that program as well. That's something, coaching new and upcoming streamers, that's where my mind immediately goes. That's already kind of an existing thing. My level of success, while people can look and see what I do and say, wow, I'd love to see where he got, I can kind of teach that offhand. in little one-off videos like this. Maybe down the line on this channel there'll be like a 5 tips to growing your stream with CBAD, something like that. I don't know. But right now I don't see me offering any formal coaching or things like that. I do like to keep pretty open on Twitter, in Discord DMs, on Twitch where I live stream. You know, if people ask and say, you know, oh, how'd you get, you got so many viewers, how did you guys do that? Frankly, you know, I will always look at my success through not rose-colored glasses. I will always feel like I can strive to do better, to be great, and to do great. I'll never view myself as like, haha, I am this big fancy streamer, man. Let me teach you my ways. Here, I don't think I'll ever be in that position. That being said, I would love to do, I've talked about it before, we're on this channel, I would love to do tutorials for the streaming software that I use. I feel like there's a lot of pretty basic tutorials for open broadcaster software. I feel like there's a lot of tutorials for that. That's really the only program I use while I stream. I kind of click go live. Stream Elements is a program that I use when I live stream, and they have their own YouTube channel with a lot of tutorials. So I don't want to reinvent the wheel necessarily with that. I have talked about utilizing the Elgato Stream Deck. I am sponsored and partnered with Elgato. They do provide me with some product for increasing quality of my streams. The Stream Deck itself, the XL, is something that I personally purchased, but I think it is such a great piece of equipment that I would love to do tutorials and tips and tricks on there. That might be something how to do. And then as far as building an audience for creating and streaming content, depends on the platform. It depends on what you're looking out of it. My biggest recommendation, and I know this wasn't, you know, how do you build an audience, but would I ever be at a point where I would coach new? I may make a video on my opinion on, you know what, I'm going to add that to the list. I'm going to add that to the list of videos that I'll put on this channel. You know, my tips to growing and building an audience. You know, it's not going to be like a do 1, 2, and 3 every day and then you're rich and you can die. It's going to be something along the lines of how I feel content creators, influencers, personalities, whatever you want to call it, grow in their own respective right, and what they can offer and embrace to help expedite that growing process. Real Seth Cohen asks, #Ask3Bad. If you had your own Pokemon gym, what typing would it be, and which Pokemon would be your ace in the hole? That's a great question. I have always said I would love to be a Steel-type gym leader. I think Steel-type Pokemon are pretty dope. My favorite games to come out were Gold, Silver, and Crystal, and when Helix and Scizor were introduced, I lost my mind. So I'd be a Steel-type gym leader, and if I had to have an ace in the hole, a new Pokemon that actually just came out in the Sword and Shield versions is called Capparaja. It's a giant steel elephant. That would be my ace in the hole. Cody asks, #Ask3Bad. What cereal is the absolute best? I'm really there's 2 parts of me. You're gonna get the yin and yang of my answer here, and both yin and yang, you know, good and evil. You're gonna get the good side of me, which I'm about to turn 27 in a little over a month. You know, you want to stay regular and make sure you're eating all your foods and eating healthy. And I Raisin Bran Crunch, or Raisin Bran with cranberries. Oh, it just hit something different. It just hit something different. The other half of me is the part of me that will still always be a small child, and the reason that I'm probably bigger than I should be says literally anything with chocolate. Cocoa Pebbles, Cookie Crisp, Reese's Puffs. Oh, just so horrible, horrible, horrible for you. But they do have, my sweet tooth lies dormant somewhere in this mouth, and just hearing those, I can already feel one of the teeth start to wiggle. That's probably not healthy. I should probably see a doctor. Madison asks, #Ask3Bad. For people like me who are really awkward on camera but still want to learn how to stream, what advice do you have for starting out, especially when it comes to growing an audience from 0 to 1 person? That is a great question. Or let's break it down a bit. For really awkward on camera but still want to learn to stream, what advice do you have for starting out? Honestly, practice. Practice makes perfect. You can pretend you're live, pretend you're streaming. It is, if you say, for example, if you are playing through a game that maybe you've already played, you want to kind of give it out, try to talk yourself through it. You know, if you're streaming Let's Plays and you want to play a game, nobody is really gonna want to watch the player who's got their controller and just stares at the camera. Everybody finds themselves doing it, but you want to make sure you're still able to provide some sort of entertainment, education, things like that alongside it. So if you're just a silent streamer sitting there playing, you know, you want to kind of get a little bit more comfortable and unfortunately talking to yourself, which is pretty much what everybody on YouTube and Twitch are good at. But Twitch a little less. Twitch, you can have your chat, but YouTube, you really want to be good at talking to yourself. And Twitch, as you're growing, you know, you may be streaming to 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 20 people, but people in chat might not be talking to you right away. You know, there are lurkers on Twitch and things like that. So you got to be good. You might not always have a conversation available. So you want to be able to talk to yourself, commentate to yourself, things like that. And it does take practice if you're unfamiliar with it, because if you're going through school and you see somebody talking to themselves, you're like, oh, they're but it's something you do need to get comfortable with that. So I'd recommend practicing that, you know, talking to yourself, being able to keep up flowing trains of thought like that. You do get a little bit of streamer brain where you'll be going off on a tangent all the way, and then something might happen and you're like, wait, what was that? So that is something that I would recommend, you know, being comfortable on camera. If you have a webcam that you're going to be using for creating content, if you have a camera that you're going to be using for creating content, kind of get comfortable with that being on. I've got a camera where I can see you'll see my eyes focus, like shift focus. That's because on my camera I have a display so I can see what the camera is picking up. But some people might not be comfortable with that. Some people might not want to see a reflection of themselves while they're working. So I getting comfortable with that is another recommendation. And as you get comfortable with the camera, speaking, you know, you can practice as much as you want to, but ultimately the best practice for streaming, you're not defusing a bomb. You're not having a job interview. You're not meeting the president. You're not doing these really just things. You are playing video games and wanting to share your enjoyment with those. So at the end of the day, my best advice is to get everything set up, click start streaming. Somebody comes through and they're like, hey, I'm new here. What do you do? Just be excited. That's somebody who came out to see what you're doing. Be like, oh, hi, you know, my name's Chase. I'm playing Dragon Ball Z. You know, do you like this game? You know, hope you're having a great day. Things like that. Some people may be talkative. Some people might just say hi, and then you never see them again. But that's as far as that goes for starting out. And as far as growing an audience from 0 to 1 person, you have to tell people. You have to tell people you're streaming. You have to tell people you're making videos, because while there are some very underperforming features to allow for discovery natively on these platforms, you need to kind of break out of that little section. So if you've got family that supports you, if you're in room A or half of room A, and you have family in room B or the other half of room A, you know, be like, hey mom, hey dad, you know, I'm getting ready to stream. Can you watch and let me know what you think? You know, if your cousins, if you guys all get together at holidays and play video games, you know, text cousin Sally, I'm getting ready to play Neopets on Twitch. You should come check me out. You have a Facebook, tell your friends, because the best way to get out of that bracket, you know, you'll see so many people for games that'll be down here in these 0 numbers, and it only takes a handful of people, you know, that have your stream open to start breaking out in the 2s, the 3s, the 5s, the 10s. And then the discoverability as people are going through, they may not want to watch the Dr. Lupos, the Tim the Tatmans of Twitch. They might want to find somebody else who's, you know, less well known. They might want to see if they can discover the next great and best. And can that be you? Absolutely. Is that something you just want to do as a hobby? You don't want to try to be, you know, the next face of Twitch? They might not know that, but they'll come hang out and be like, wow, like Susie Streamer is really good. And they'll start hanging out and things like that. So that's my advice. Lucy Taylor says, hashtag ask 3bad. My last question used for the wedding engagement video, which I'm going to pause for a second, throw that away. There were questions that were used about my recent engagement and wedding planning. If there was anything involved if it's anything involved with my personal relationship that I have with my fiance, we're going to save that for another video on the channel. So that's why this question is phrased the way that it is. My last question is used for the wedding engagement video. If you could give advice to your younger self, what would it be? Take more risks and act more with your gut. I've taken more risks and acted more on my gut in the past 5 years, and it has accelerated where I'm at in life than I probably ever did in the first 21 to 22 years of my life. If you have a gut instinct about something, if you think something is going to be just good, act on it. Do it. Just caution to the wind. Obviously, legalities and whatnot. You know, I think robbing a bank would be a great idea. Don't rob a bank. But if you act on a gut, you know, I want to ask that girl or boy out. Do it. Like, just do it. If you think making a video, writing a book, something you really want to do it. I'm not good at writing a book. Do it. Act on it. That would be my advice. Silver13 Riolu, hashtag Ask3Bad. If you could never stream again, let's hope that never happens, what would you do for a job? So that's a great question. Behind the scenes, I am a full-time insurance agent. I hold my property and casualty licenses in 38 out of 50 states. I would continue that. It's a field that I know I'm very comfortable in. There's always so much to learn. There's always room to improve, to learn, to grow, to expand. And if all of a sudden nobody needs insurance anymore, I'd probably go back to bartending. Cypher 634, hashtag Ask3Bad. If you could do anything different at the beginning of your content creation journey before my first entry into the GVA, would you? So, little backstory behind this question. When I first started content creating, I started off creating Pokemon Wi-Fi battles on YouTube. I started with Pokemon Let's Plays. I dabbled a little bit with things like Five Nights at Freddy's and along that. But I was asked to join a Pokemon draft league, very similar to like a fantasy football league, but you draft Pokemon instead of sports players and battle with other creators. It allows for a lot of room for collaboration and growth and creates a lot of really long-lasting friendships. There are a few people in that league that I met in 2015, 2016 that I'm still best friends with to this day. So if I could do anything different at the beginning of the journey, I probably wouldn't try to do the Five Nights at Freddy's series over again. But I don't think I regret or would change anything about the beginning of my journey. Iron Boffin, hashtag Ask3Bad. What do you miss most about full-time content creating? So, little backstory into this is that I was, during the years of 2017, about summer of 2017 to summer of 2018. So for about a year, little over a year, maybe about 13 to 14 months, I was able to create YouTube videos, and I was able to stream on Twitch full-time as my main source of income. I stepped down from that. I took a job. I am back on the market for content. So the question, what do I miss most about full-time content creating? I do miss not being my own boss. I don't mind following a structure of hierarchy, but I do the freedom. The freedom seems alluring right now. Whether or not I continue to like that, I guess I'd need to split personality, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and be my own boss. I don't enjoy commuting, so I do miss the ability to just sit in my own home all day. I miss being able to play games a lot. I think right now, the way that my content calendar is up, I would love to just play every game on the planet, cover it, give my thoughts and feedback, and just experience it and explore it. Unfortunately, I don't have the time for that, so I do need to kind of prioritize the games that I want to play. I'm still able to expand and do play more games than I was originally, but having that freedom to just sink my teeth into whatever game I wanted to, ooh, that's probably what I miss most about it. Hidden Monkey 10 asks, hashtag Ask3Bad, aside from gaming, what other hobbies or interests do you enjoy? Aside from gaming, what do I do? Aside from gaming, I previously have been really into bowling. I'm one of those people that owns their own bowling ball and shoes. I used to be on bowling leagues. I do like that. I love a good beer, frankly. I enjoy being able to hang out with my friends and just kind of sit and relax, have a few beers, hang out. I enjoy going to the movies. I enjoy traveling. I like seeing things. So it's not like a wanderlust type thing where I need to see everything and do everything. But like, I always enjoy going someplace new, especially when I get to experience that with my fiance. We do get, every time we go to New York, even if it's an area of New York I've always been to, I just like traveling and experiencing that new stuff. Even if it is familiar, it's not like my hometown. You know, we've been to Bryant Park before. I've seen Rockefeller Center, but just being able to go back and experience cool stuff like that, that's always really, really fun. Michelle, hashtag Ask3Bad. What has been your biggest challenge in making content, and how did you get past it? I love questions like that because there's some, you know, what did you want to do before you grow up? I've answered that question a lot, so I can pretty much pull that from the database. But my biggest challenge in making content would have to be trying to figure out how to stay within the realm of interest, I suppose. And I'm going to try to elaborate the best I can on that. I know what I mean, but I know not everybody else is inside this jumbled mess, so I'll do my best to kind of expand on there. The biggest challenge I've had in making content is staying relevant within the means of interest, and the main focus of that content being things like Pokemon, being things like Fortnite, two of the main games that I've focused my content creation on, figuring out how to stay within a scope of interest. There's so much, people only have so much attention they can give to anybody at any one single time. You sit down and watch this whole video, you either knew, or at some point during this video, you knew beforehand, or halfway through this video, you made the mental note, either consciously or subconsciously, that you are going to give me your attention for the undivided, however long this video is going to be. 22 minutes in, still got a lot of questions, so I'm going to say like a 30 to 40 minute video where you decided there was going to be attention given to me, whether it be in 10 minutes at a time, whether it be in the full span. Attention was given to me. People may have a short attention span, they may have a long attention span. Attention is typically focused on one thing at a time. Being able to have my content be entertaining, educating, providing some sort of value enough throughout the ongoing changes of that career, of the lifespan of that game, has probably been my biggest challenge. As an example, Fortnite comes around. People are, if you are on top of it every day, if you are constantly getting high kill games, high elimination games, if you are constantly buying the new skins and the emotes and showing them off, if you're constantly teaching people how to do the challenges, if you are trying new tactics, trying to do new interesting styles of gameplay, different challenges in game, doing random games with other people in voice chats, that's constantly adjusting and making accommodations to the contents. That way people are always going to be paying attention. They're going to say, oh, he's doing random squads with 3 other people in a funny voice, let's see how this turns out. Or he's trying to go for a 20 elimination challenge, let's see. You know, you've got that intent. He's getting up higher in kills. Your attention is getting more laser focused on what they're doing. They're trying to do a no kill challenge. They're trying, we need to make sure he doesn't get caught. Oh, he's just right in front of somebody. Making sure that the attention span is always there. And it's somewhat difficult from time to time, and making sure that you can keep that attention, the retention of people consuming your content has been my biggest challenge. And how do I get past it is really a step-by-step type of deal. It's trying to give as much of, as an example, going through a Sword and Shield Let's Play on another YouTube channel. Some of those episodes are 20 to 25 minutes. People might be able to sit down and watch that, but a 40 to 45 minute basic Let's Play is very hard to keep someone's attention on creating that content, making your content interesting. And that being said, being able to, one of my biggest strengths that I have in that specific Let's Play is that while I may have seen and explored some of the game to know what is in the Pokedex, the total Pokemon in the area, I don't know anything about the plot. So when it goes through the plot and something happens, that's my natural gut-jerking reaction, and I try to make sure that that is as relatable to anybody else when they are going through and playing the games, and making sure that people are able to have that relational value for my content. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's making sure that each video I put out is making sure that it's not cookie cutter. I want to be able to make each video, although it may seem that it is just one more piece of a puzzle, I want to make sure that each piece of those puzzles are unique and identifiable, which makes sure that people want to continue to engage in it. Sir Jorge D. Great asks, why is your beard so majestic? I wish I had a majestic beard. I used to have this big beard, but I don't think that I can smack my microphone. I don't think that I can continue to grow that anymore. I don't think my fiance would appreciate if I had my big bushy beard like I used to have. I'd love to, but a little conditioner, a little love and tender care, just like you wash your own hair and take care of all that and style it, I take care of this too. GM Reaper Crew 1 says, hashtag #3bad, what is the most important thing you would say is needed when starting a new streaming channel beside a computer and internet? What is the most important thing that you would say is needed when starting a new streaming channel? I would recommend having an idea on what you want to stream. That is probably the most important thing. Besides having a computer to stream and internet to connect you to a server to broadcast whatever you're doing, I would say knowing what you want to stream. Don't get a computer, download streaming software, click start streaming, and then just kind of sit there and be like, shit, what do I do? Have an idea. Are you a gamer? Are you a cosplayer? Do you want to paint? Do you want to sing? Do you want to teach people? Do you want to find content and react to it and engage with the community over it? Secondary to that, why do you want to stream? You just want to share your experience of games with other people? Do you find that you're really educational about a certain franchise, or you're informed about a certain franchise, you know a lot about it, and you want to teach other people that? Do you want to you're really good at a game and you want to show off your prowess at that game, you know, battle royale type style games, Guitar Hero, things like that. Figuring out what you want to do and then figuring out why you want to do it is very important behind that. If you just want to share your gaming experience with other people, that's perfectly fine. Make sure that you know what you want to do and why you want to do it, and then just do it. Basic Brian asks, how do you change your mindset about content creation in regard to comparing yourself to others' success? How do you turn that from potentially negative and harmful self-hate into positive motivation? Hashtag Ask3Bad. Oh boy, that's a fantastic question, and I have had a lot of, I'm gonna say, episodes with that throughout my time. It's hard. It can be hard seeing other people and comparing your numbers to them. Finding that if you've had a friend that has done really well, noting that they have been what you would find to be more successful than you, and comparing that and bringing that back on yourself. My first thing is first off, take a step back. When it comes to content creation, for that, have an out-of-body experience really quickly. Take a look at the content that you're creating. You know, is it where you want it to be? Is the content that you're making is something that would you personally sit down and watch your content? Would you do that? Would you enjoy your content front to back? Are you happy with the product that you're making? That's my first recommendation. The answer to all that is yes. If you are happy with the content you're making, if you're not happy, but you know what you can improve on, put that into practice. If you'd consume the product that you're putting out, if you would consume the content that you're making, the next thing I can say is changing your mindset is if you take a look at it and you view someone else's success and you feel that's detrimental to your own, you're viewing that as why aren't I as successful? Be happy for them. Be so stupidly happy for them that they are being successful in their own right. Don't be spiteful. And that might not even be a spiteful thing. You may still be happy for them, but you look back on your own success and say, why not me? Don't think that. Don't think that. And that's my biggest advice. And I know that's so hard for me to say, and I'm going to try to elaborate a little bit more into it. You want to find more happiness in other people's success than you do in your own failures. And if you look at your own failures, find that as a learning opportunity to figure out how you can expand and grow. Because while you find someone else's success may be this incredible, groundbreaking thing for them, and you are just so bitter that you haven't gotten your break or your opportunity, your moment to shine, your 5 minutes of fame, spotlight, whatever analogy you want, they may turn around and say, why is someone else? They might look at you and say the same thing. You might see somebody get a video that does 100,000 views, 200,000 views, and their channel's just blowing up, man. They had their big viral video and they're doing great. And you've been working so hard and your videos are only getting 100 views, 1,000 views each video you put up, and you're looking at that and you say, why can't I have that 100,000 views? They're going to look at your channel and say, what did I do? Why can't I have the consistency that you have? You have every video you upload does just every time you know that you're going to have 1,000 people watching that video, 100 people, 5,000 video. I got lucky and I did this one video, and is it a payday? Sure, but I can't capitalize on that. I can't, putting yourself in other people's shoes and realizing that success will always be beauty's in the eye of the beholder. This is always going to be your own perception. It's always going to be your own perspective. And keeping that in mind and realizing what you can do to improve upon yourself is going to be my best recommendation, to use that as a positive motivation. Finding someone else's success and saying, well, they stream 7 days a week and they're doing really well on Twitch. Maybe if I can put more time in, maybe that'll be me one day. You can't guarantee that. You can't control people wanting to come into your stream. You can't control people wanting to subscribe, wanting to donate, wanting to share out your stream, tweet out your content. What you can control is the efforts you put into it. It's kind of rambly. I hope that makes sense. Leave me a comment down below if that doesn't make sense. I'll try to expand on that in another video, but that's really my 12 cents on that topic. The Haas Games 1. Does it feel any different creating these two new channels, or does the content feel more or less the same? Hashtag Ask3Bad. P.S. Congratulations on the engagement, you two. Haas, thank you very much for the kind words. I appreciate it. Does it feel any different creating these two channels? No, not at all. Not at all. I've always liked talking I've always liked sharing my opinions and my advice with people. One of the biggest things that I like doing on Twitch is answering questions and kind of talking and having a discussion, a discourse. There's a word I'm looking for here and it's escaping me, but it doesn't feel different. I feel more relieved now that I can avenue this content in a different direction as opposed to just trying to cram it all down into one channel and hoping people kind of pill out the right cookie that they want to. I like saying, here's the cookies, here's the brownies, here's the candied cashews, enjoy those. But it really, it doesn't feel different. It still feels the same, but it feels good. 95 Jessica asks, you've mentioned you might make tutorials in the future on how to use certain things such as Elgato capture cards, etc. Go through with it. Are you planning to only do tutorials for sponsored stuff, or is it more in general that you'll be beginning to make tutorials? Hashtag Ask3Bad. That's a fantastic question. I really created this channel, and one of the staples that I wanted to do on this was so many people were asking about the software and learning how to use things like the Stream Deck, that those tutorials were something that I really thought I could get behind as a starting point for tutorials. If I'm good at teaching, you have to be really good at something in order to teach it, but that doesn't always make you a good teacher. So that's kind of going to be a stepping stone, is something that I know that I'm pretty okay at, and people have complimented and wanted to learn more about, and I think I can make good videos on there. And if that's the stepping stone and people are like, wow, you're really, I don't think I've ever tried teaching someone something, so I mean, it's going to be a really difficult time for me. So if things like that, if those videos do go over well and people are like, wow, you should really make more tutorials, that will kind of be the point where that tree blossoms out into more things. So my question back to you and anybody else watching is, if I had to make a tutorial on something, what would you want to see? And that's actually where I'm going to wrap up this video. There were a lot of questions poured in. I'm sorry that I didn't get to all of them. I wanted to keep it kind of, I said I wanted to expand. I also kind of want to keep it brief. If your question didn't get asked, do not worry. If your question didn't get asked, should have asked it. If your question didn't get answered, there will be more Q&As on this channel. Feel free to keep those in mind. Brainstorm some questions that you'd like me to ask, that you'd like to have answered in the future. But I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope this is a great experience. It was nice to kind of get everything off my chest and flesh everything out that was answered. But thank you guys all so much for watching. If you guys have enjoyed, feel free to leave a like on this video, share it with a friend. This is a brand new project for me that I'm really excited to be sharing with you. And of course, if you are new, if you do enjoy this style of content where I just sit in front of a camera and a microphone and talk to you about my thoughts and feelings and opinions and advice, feel free to hit that subscribe button as well. All that being said, please, as always, be great and do great, and I'll see you all in the next video. Later.